Hey guys, what we're going to do is we're going to check our work today with the characters in A Message from Space. I really like this story. I hope that you've enjoyed it too. So, from the video that you watched before you started, that when we're asking ourselves questions about characters, we have to ask ourselves, how are they thinking, acting, feeling, and speaking? Okay. And so as you're going through today, I wanted you to ask yourself those questions before you went to answer. So I'm just going to run through there. I'm going to read the question to you, and then I'm going to show you my answer, and I'll kind of give you a good idea of where you're at before you go and try and tackle your exit ticket on your own. Okay. All right. So these are all excerpts from our story. And then you can see that there was a question there that went with it. And all of these had to focus on characters, and we had to ask ourselves, how is that character thinking, acting, feeling, and speaking? Okay. So this says, really? Abuelo, which means grandma in Spanish, took a few steps into the room. Oh, abuelo means grandpa. Abuela means grandma. I always forget that. Abuelo is grandpa. Abuelo took a few steps into the room. He moved a ceramic turtle from her cluttered desk and replaced it with a small plate loaded with cookies or croquetas. Or did you just need a break from the crowd? Naya shrugged and tossed the pillow back on the bed. Remember, this is that scene where she's in her room before the launch party and she's kind of feeling upset. So Grandpa comes in and is saying, hey, are you feeling okay? Or did you just need a break from the crowd? So here's the question. What can you infer about Naya's relationship with Abuelo? So what do you know about their relationship? So you have to ask ourselves, how does Abuelo think, act, feel, or speak towards Naya? Well, he's caring for her. He's checking on her. He's making sure that she's okay. So he's bringing her cookies and croquetas, which is a Mexican dessert. He's bringing her some sweets. We know when we're down, we want sweets. So he's acting in a kind way. He's speaking in a kind way. He obviously has feelings for her. He cares about her. So this is what I said. You can infer that Naya and Abuelo are very close. What that means is they have a really good relationship. They care about each other. Abuelo can sense how Naya is feeling without her telling him. He knows Naya is concerned and he tries to comfort her. Okay. And that's what we can tell from just this little piece right here, that, they're close. They have a good relationship. Abuelo cares for her and he's checking on her. Okay. Good job. All right. Let's look at the next one. I wish I were like Mom, she whispered, but I'm not. Abuelo pulled back and laughed. Naya, you are already so much like her. Don't you see it? He shook his head. Your mother is very proud of you. We all are. So the question is, what qualities do you think Naya sees in her mom? And what does she think about herself? This is a two-parter. So we have to ask ourselves, what is this character thinking? What is she feeling? What words did she say? Well, she said, I wish I were like Mom. So she obviously puts her mom really high up. She thinks really highly of her mom. And when she says, I wish I would like her, that tells us that she doesn't think very highly of herself. Okay. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is she thinking? What is she feeling? And this is what I said. I said, Naya sees her mom as brave and accomplished. Okay. We know her mom is an astronaut and she's not afraid to go on this mission. She's earned degrees. She's won awards. She's telling JJ about that stuff, right? But Naya kind of sees herself as weak and unimportant, right? She's scared. She doesn't feel like she's very brave. She doesn't feel like the beach cleanup is that big of a deal. And so she doesn't feel like she's done anything that can compare to her mom. Okay. And so all of that comes from being able to think about what Naya has said, what we've seen in her thoughts, and kind of asking ourselves, well, what would we be thinking in that position? Okay. All right, let's look at this one. Her mother was a hero. Everyone said so. She was an Air Force pilot, had degrees in engineering and biomedical science, and had even won a national cake making contest. All Naya had won was that she was president and the only member of her school's Save the Turtle Club. Why would her mom be proud? So Abuela says your mom would be proud of you. And this is what she starts thinking. This helped us answer this question here, right? She starts thinking, well, my mom's done all this amazing stuff. What have I done? Okay. So when it says, why would her mother be proud? We already know Naya's feeling like she's not done much. She's not accomplished. She's not done anything great. So what could we tell Naya to help her understand why her mother would be proud of her? So we've got to think. Why would her mom be proud of Naya? Well, she's passionate about something. She's passionate about the turtles. She does something even though she's the only one that's doing it. Most kids quit when there's no one else there, to stick with them or to help them out. And she's doing it all by herself. She's dedicated to it. She's hardworking. So the things that we could tell Naya is that it's starting that club is an important achievement. She's taking action about the things she cares about. And we can also say that Naya is just a kid and her mom is an adult. Her mom's had a long time to achieve her goals and Naya is just getting started. Okay. All right. Let's look at this next one. This is JJ talking to Naya. It says, a beach day cleanup, he asked, pointing to the screen, to help your little ocean loving friends. In a way, Naya smiled. A clean beach helps everybody. And when he says your little ocean loving friends, he means turtles. And you're the one organizing it? JJ asked, raising his eyebrows. Yeah, I'm going to put up the flyers at school tomorrow. So we're going to ask ourselves, how is JJ thinking? So yeah, that's the question. How is he thinking? So let's ask, what words does he use? What actions does he have to help us kind of understand what he's thinking about Naya? Well, he's looking at her stuff and he's like, and you're organizing it? Raising his eyebrows in surprise and shock, like, oh my goodness. And so we can infer that he's probably thinking, wow, this is really cool. She's doing this all by herself. She's in charge. That's a pretty awesome thing. So we think that JJ is impressed with his cousin for organizing the beach cleanup day by herself. All right. And then this is our last question, kiddos, before you go do your exit ticket. And you're going to use everything we've talked about to help you complete that. JJ leaned back and stared at Naya. Wow, you're pretty impressive for a younger cousin. Naya sat a little taller in her chair. She never thought of herself as impressive. Helping the environment and animals? Maybe I should do something like that in my school. Make a difference like you and your mom. So I want you to think. Up until this point of the story, Naya's thinking, I'm nothing like my mom. My mom has no reason to be proud of me. My mom's this amazing, brave astronaut. What am I doing? And at this point, when JJ starts saying, wow, you've done some really amazing things, Naya starts to see herself a little bit differently. So this is the question. Remember, last week we talked about plot, and at that top part, it's the turning point, right? How is this the beginning of a turning point for Naya? How does she see herself through how does seeing herself through JJ's eyes help her? Well, before she didn't think she'd done anything impressive. But when JJ starts talking to her, she's like, oh, maybe I have done something impressive. So even though Naya has never thought of herself as impressive, hearing her cousin call her that makes her start to think of herself differently. Seeing herself through JJ's eyes helps her realize what she's doing for sea turtles is special, and she is awesome for doing it. Okay? All right, kiddos. So what you're going to do for me is you're going to do Message from Space Exit Ticket 2. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for working hard for me.